Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be covering the German World War II anti-aircraft guns. So starting off first, we have the good old 2 cm. So this is going to be the 2 cm Flak 30 L55 anti-aircraft gun. So this is the early war anti-aircraft gun the Germans used. Only built it in small numbers. It's built from 1934 to 1940. About 2,400 of them were built. Some of them were mounted on trucks. In game, you can buy it like this or on the back of a truck. Also comes in some of the early armored cars as well. So this thing has 150 meters range, which is not bad. Armor piercing has 24 millimeters of penetration, which can get through most armored cars and anything else below that. It has 2-second reload, so it's pretty quick, but it does have a slow rate of fire. Okay, so you'll start to see. It's not super slow, but it is significantly slower than the other upgraded version. Now, this one is often nicknamed the single shot flak by the German crews because it was just so slow. It was generally disliked by the crews because it just seemed like it didn't fire fast enough. But in game, I do recommend getting this as a towed edition. It can be very useful early game, and it can also be useful you get on the flak truck, but it's unarmored, so just be aware of that. All right, moving on to the 2 cm Flak 38. So this is just a upgraded version of the Flak 30. Fires almost twice as fast, and this one has an armored shield, as you can see. So this one comes with support doctrine, and early you can bring it in. It has 150 range, same as this one, and it has 24 millimeters of penetration. 2-second reload, same thing. Now this was built from 1940 to 1945. About 40,000 of these bad boys were made. This is the main light anti-aircraft gun for the German army. It was used as improvised support for infantry as well. But as you can see, it has a much higher firing rate. A 2-second reload makes it pretty good. This thing will shred infantry and it can be towed by like a Ket Krad, so it's very, very mobile gun, and it's a very effective gun. I like it because it fires a lot faster. Also, it can be used as a light anti-tank gun versus some of the Soviet light tanks and pretty much all armored cars. All right, moving on. Now we have the quad. So the quad, 2 cm. Now this thing is, I love it because I think I first saw it in Call of Duty 2, but this was made from 1940 to 1945. 3,800 of these were produced. They were used on some trucks. As you can see, the same weapon was used on the Flak Panzer IV, and then it was called the Kraut's Buzzsaw because you get like 1,400 rounds in the air at a time per minute. Pretty damn fast. It's the same gun as this one, but just 4 of them, so it overwhelms. You can absolutely shred. This one's actually pretty good for anti-air if you use it in Conquest. So I would recommend using this, or if it's mounted on other vehicles, use it on those. Very, very effective. You can get this in multiplayer as well. You have to buy the, I think, Airborne DLC to get this one, to be able to use it in multiplayer. But you can use it in multiplayer. It's pretty effective. It's like 300 manpower. Can be effective, especially in team games. One versus ones, wouldn't really recommend it, but it is an awesome weapon, especially on the Flak Panzer IV. So next we have the 3.7 cm Flak 37. This was the Germany's, so these ones all have range of 150. This one has range of 160, okay? 3.7, this was Germany's standard medium anti-aircraft weapon, made from 1935 to 1944. So about 20,000 of these bad boys were made, and they were used a lot throughout the German theaters, but especially in North Africa, they used a lot of these bad boys as well. And has 32 millimeters of penetration with its armor piercing round, so it actually can get through most light tanks. Now you can get this one with defensive mid and late, and mid can be very effective versus enemy armor. Very effective versus infantry. Nice gun overall. I like using it if I'm playing defensive. If I don't get the League, or maybe I'll get this and the League in combination, because these things are pretty damn good. 2-second reload, just the same as the other ones. Very efficient weapon. All right, next we have the 5 cm Flak 41. So this one is actually, not very many of these were built. They were built from 1940 to 1943. They're kind of supposed to bridge the gap between the 3.7 cm and the 88, but they kind of failed miserably at their job. As you can see, it's a very bulky weapon, not very light. It was super heavy. Was mainly used as static defenses, and it was replaced by the actually ended up being replaced by a 3.7 cm. So this thing does have a decent fire rate, but has a 5-second reload, a little bit longer. Has 180 range with its armor piercing, ballistic cap, high explosive, and can get through 71 millimeters of armor, which is actually kind of good. So this one you can get in defensive mid war, so that's pretty cool. And then each high explosive is only 160 range. This thing will shred light tanks. So if you can get medium tank on the side, it can also shred them. But light tanks pretty much get obliterated by this thing. And at 180 range, its high rate of fire will shred them. Don't super recommend this thing. It can be good for defensive, but there's usually better options like the Mara 2. As you can see, it's not a super effective weapon because it's pretty heavy. It has to get towed by something. And it's a big target, takes up a lot of area. So overall, wouldn't recommend this one, but it's a cool, unique part of the German anti-aircraft guns history. So if you want to use something different, maybe try it out. All right, next we have the Bad Boys, 8.8 centimeters. Now these guys are the ones that you often see as anti-tank weapons as well. This one, the earlier versions, the Flak 18, has a range of 210. The longest ranges, both of these have 210. Now this one has armor piercing, ballistic cap, high explosive, with armor penetration of 99 millimeters. Okay, pretty dang good. Same range for its high explosive. Now you can get this with defensive doctrine, both early and mid-war. Now the cool thing about this one, a whole battalion of these were equipped to the nationalists in the Spanish Civil War. And during the Spanish Civil War, they were used against emplacements and tanks, and they were found to be extremely effective taking them out. So just like the Germans would use them in World War II, very, very efficient versus emplacements. And it only has a 5-6 second reload, so it's pretty dang efficient. You can get some rounds off pretty quick. Very good as an infantry support weapon. I do recommend getting these if you're going to be team games. Just make sure you have the truck ready to move it because a lot of people like to bomb them or use artillery on them. These were produced from 1933 to 1938. About 2,500 of this version was made. Now the upgraded version is this 8.8 centimeter Flak 36. Right here, Flak 36. Looks pretty similar, but it has a little bit different barrel, making the barrel easier to change because it's I think it's a 2-piece barrel as opposed to 1 piece over here. Not sure if you can really tell the difference looking at it, but it's basically an improved version. This one actually had the shield built in. This one got the shield added later. So that's just another little fun fact. But this one has better ammunition, so it has 114 millimeters of penetration, and high explosive is the same range. They built from 1936, 1944, and 8,000 these were made. Now this will be defensive late war. We'll have this one. 210 range means it's going to be effective versus very, very many enemy tanks, but it is a static position which can be hard to keep safe, of course. So I would recommend the early mid-war using this one. Late war, this kind of gets outclassed because 210 range isn't that great in late war. It's still pretty good, but it can get outclassed and bombed very easily. Just keep that in mind. But I would recommend using this one in multiplayer. But I hope you guys learned something. If you enjoyed it, leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.